Vision is the most important thing in driving in general, but it's especially true in making tight turns. First, you'll need to look as far as possible to see if there is another vehicle coming before turning. If there is one, you'll have to judge who has priority and act accordingly. This particular turn is too tight for us to be able to turn both at the same time, so I let him turn first. Then after you've determined that and did a visual sweep to the front, look as far as you can into the curve to guide yourself. In some of my previous videos on turning, I discussed how looking far into the curve will help you guide yourself, so same here. And in tight turns, you should turn your head as much as you can and move your body forward a bit if needed to see further away. In some places you also have mirrors that let you see who's coming from the other side. Here I'll be turning left so I can see if someone's approaching in the mirror. Most of the time, in tight curves, it won't be possible for two people to turn at the same time. If you're approaching one of those and you see a vehicle ahead that's about to turn towards you, make sure that you leave them enough room to do so. In the previous situation, the driver was turning left, so he was able to turn while I was stopped at the intersection. But in this case, the driver is turning right, so he has less room. He'll have to overflow in my lane for a few meters before he can reposition himself in his lane. So I slow down and make sure to leave him enough room to do that. When turning left, we have more distance between ourselves and the lane we need to go into, so we make a wider arc. But when turning right in a situation like this one, we have way less room, so we won't be able to turn from right lane to right lane directly. In order to get the width necessary to make the turn, we have no choice but to overflow into the opposite lane. Another thing to do if the turn is tight is to move to the side opposite to the turn as much as possible before turning. Like here, I'm turning to my left, so I get as close as possible to the right. By doing this, I'm giving myself as much room as possible from the opposite lane in case there's a vehicle coming. If you don't do this, you risk stepping too much into the opposite lane. When turning right, I try to get as close to the left of my lane as possible before starting to turn. I look far ahead before I start turning, and if the coast is clear, I turn my steering wheel completely and go. This principle of giving ourselves some room also applies when turning next to obstacles. Here I'm about to turn left next to this post, so I give myself some room to the right before turning. By doing this, I'm positioning my vehicle as straight as I can so that I have as much room as possible between the post on the left and the parked car on the right. If I keep going in a straight line before turning, my vehicle will be in a diagonal position, so I'll risk hitting either the post on the left or the vehicle parked to my right, or both. Same thing here where I'm turning right and I have this car parked to my right. I give myself some room by moving a bit to the left before turning in order to make more room between myself and the car. That will make it easier to align my vehicle between the parked vehicles on each side. It's the same principle big vehicles like trucks or buses use when turning on smaller streets. They move a bit to the opposite side before turning. Or when we park 90 degrees to the right going forward, where we have less room between us and the parked vehicles than when we're parking to the left. If you can turn in one single maneuver, do a 3-point turn. Like here, I get as close to my left as possible, then I turn the wheel completely to the right and advance as much as I can, always keeping a safe distance, especially in this case where in front of me I have a cliff. Then I turn the wheel completely to the left and I reverse as much as I can, again keeping a safe distance from the wall behind. Then I turn it to the right again as much as possible and I finish my turn. I have a more detailed video on 3-point turning, the link will be in the description below. Another thing that makes turning in very tight curves a lot easier is to let the steering wheel slide between your hands when exiting the curve. Unless your vehicle has a mechanical problem, if you let the wheel slide at the right moment, the wheels will straighten themselves. You might need to hold it just a bit to correct the trajectory in some cases. It doesn't need to be one perfect continuous slide. A problem some students have when turning, especially in sharp turns, is that they don't turn the wheel quickly enough to straighten the wheels when exiting the turn, so they almost hit the vehicles in the opposite lane, the parked vehicles, the curb, or whatever is on the side of the road that they're pointing towards. Now, it might be a requirement in some places at the exam to always keep a grip on the wheel at all times, so be aware of that. As far as speed goes, the sharper the curve, the slower you'll need to go. In a curve like this one, you should be at more or less 15 kilometers per hour in the peak of the curve. In normal conditions, that is. But in this one, where the curve is a bit sharper, you should be at more or less 10. That being said, even though these are the real speeds for both these curves, I give them just as examples. You should never stare at your speedometer, especially when negotiating tight turns. Try to get a feel for the right speed by looking at where you need to go and braking accordingly. You can watch my videos on vision and speed when turning, where I discuss that in more detail. The links will also be in the description. I hope you liked this video. Thanks for watching.